Okay, so today is day 18 of 365 days reading through the Bible together. Um, we are playing a little bit of catch up from day 17 because day 17 I could barely keep my eyes open. So I only read 2 of the 5 chapters we were supposed to read. So today we're reading 5 chapters, but 3 of them are in Joshua and then 2 of them are Psalms. So the Psalms are really sweet, short, and you can get through them easily. So yeah, we're gonna just dive in. So this is technically week 3, day 3, the end of day 3 and all of day 4. And then we'll be all caught up again. Just ignore all the baby the baby food on and spit and stuff on my shirt. We'll act like that's not there. Joshua chapter 13. When Joshua was an old man, the Lord said to him, "You are growing old, and much land remains to be conquered. This is the territory that remains: all the regions of the Philistines and the Gershurites, and the larger territory of the Canaanites, extending from the stream of Shihor on the border of Egypt northward to the border of Ekron. It includes the territory of the 5 Philistine rulers of Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron. The land of the Avites in the south also remains to be conquered. In the north, the following areas have not yet been conquered: all the land of the Canaanites, including Merah, which belongs to the Sidonians, stretching northward to Aphek on the borders of the Amorites, the land of the Gebalites, and all the Lebanon mountain area to the east, from the Bel Gad below Mount Hermon to Lebo Hamath, and all the hill country from Lebanon to Misrepoth Maim, including all the lands of the Sidonians. I myself will drive these people out to the land ahead of the Israelites, so be sure to give this land to Israel as a special possession, just as I have commanded you. Include all the territories as Israel's possession when you divide this land among the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh. Half the tribe of Manasseh and the tribes of Reuben and Gad had already received their grants of land on the east side of the Jordan, for Moses, the servant of the Lord, had previously assigned this land to them. Their territory extended from Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, including the town of the middle of the gorge, to the plain beyond Medeba, as far as Dibon. It also included all the towns of King Sihon of the Amorites, who had regained in Heshbon, and extended as far as the borders of Ammon. It included Gilead, the territory of the kingdoms of Geshur and Makkah, all of Mount Hermon, all of Bashan as far as Seleka, and all the territory of King Og of Bashan, who had reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. King Og was the last of the Rephites, for Moses had attacked them and driven them out. But the Israelites failed to drive out the people of Geshur and Makkah, so they continue to live among the Israelites to this day. Moses did not assign any allotment of land to the tribe of Levi. Instead, as the Lord had promised them, their allotment came from the offerings burned on the altar to the Lord, the God of Israel. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. The territory extended from Aroer on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, including the town in the middle of the gorge, to the plain beyond Medeba. It included Heshbon and other towns on the plain: Dibon, Bamoth, Baal, Beth Baal, Meon, Jahaz, Kedemoth, Mithhath, Kerethaim, Sibmah, Zereth, Shahar on the hill above the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Piggash, and Beth Jeshimoth. I'm trying, y'all. The land of Reuben also included all the towns of the plain and the entire kingdom of Sihon. Sihon was the Amorite king who had reigned in Heshbon and was killed by Moses, along with the leaders of Midian, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba princes living in the region who were allied with Sihon. The Israelites had also killed Balaam, son of Beor, who used magic to tell the future. The Jordan River marked the western boundary for the tribe of Reuben. The towns and their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribe of Reuben. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the tribe of Gad. Their territory included Jazer, all of the towns of Gilead, and half of the land of Ammon, as far as the town of Aroer, just west of Rabbah. It extended from Heshbon to Ramath Mizpah and Betanin, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Lo-debar, in the valley where Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, Zaphon, and the rest of the kingdom of King Sihon of Heshbon. The western boundary ran along the Jordan River, extended as far north as the tip of the Sea of Galilee, and then turned eastward. The towns of their surrounding villages in this area were given as a homeland to the clans of the tribes of Gad. Moses had assigned the following area to the clans of the half-tribe of Manasseh. Their territory extended from Mahanaim, including all of Bashan, all of the former kingdom of King Og, and the 60 towns of Jair in Bashan. It also included half of Gilead and King Og's royal cities of Ashtaroth and Edrei. All this was given to the clans of the descendants of Machir, who was Manasseh's son. These are the allotments Moses had made while he was on the plains of Moab, across the Jordan River east of Jericho. But Moses gave no allotment to the land to the tribe of Levi, for the Lord, the God of Israel, had promised that he himself would be their allotment. Chapter 14. The remaining tribes of Israel received land in Canaan as allotted by Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the tribal leaders. These 9.5 tribes received their grants of land by means of sacred lots, in accordance with the Lord's command through Moses. Moses had already given a grant of land to the 2.5 tribes of the east side of the Jordan River, but he had given the Levites no such allotment. The descendants of Joseph had become 2 separate tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and the Levites were given no land at all, only towns to live in with the surrounding pasture lands for their livestock and their possessions. So the land was distributed in strict accordance with the Lord's commands to Moses. A delegation from the tribe of Judah, led by Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, came to Joshua at Gilgal. Caleb said to Joshua, "Remember what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, about you and me when we were at Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land of Canaan. I returned and gave an honest report, but my brothers who went with me frightened the people from entering the promised land. For my part, I wholeheartedly followed the Lord my God. So that day Moses solemnly promised me, the land of Canaan on which you were just walking will be your grant of land, and that of your descendants forever, because you wholeheartedly followed the Lord my God. Now, as you can see, the Lord has kept me alive and well, as he promised, for all these 45 years since Moses made the promise, even while Israel wandered in the wilderness. Today I am 85 years old. I am as strong now as I was when Moses sent me on the journey, and I can still travel and fight as well as I could then. So give me the hill country the Lord promised me. You will remember that as scouts we found the descendants of Enoch living there in great walled towns, but the Lord is with me. I will drive them out of the land just as the Lord said." So Joshua blessed Caleb son of Jephunneh and gave him Hebron to him as his portion of land. Hebron still belongs to the descendants of Caleb son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, because he wholeheartedly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. Previously, Hebron had been called Kirith Araba. It had been named after Araba, a great hero of the descendants of Anak, and the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. The allotment for the clans of the tribe of Judah reached southward to the border of Edom, as far south as the wilderness of Zin. The southern boundary began at the South Bay at the Dead Sea, ran south of Scorpion Pass into the wilderness of Zin, and then went south of Kadesh Barnea to Hezron. Then it went up to Adar, where it turned toward Karka. From there it passed to Asmon until it finally reached the brook of Egypt, which it followed to the Mediterranean Sea. This was their southern boundary. The eastern boundary extended along the Dead Sea to the mouth of the Jordan River. The northern boundary began at the bay where the Jordan River empties into the Dead Sea, went up from there to Beth Hoglah, then proceeded north of Beth Araba to the stone of Bohan. Bohan was Reuben's son. From that point, it went through the valley of Achor to Debir, turning north toward Gilgal, which is across from the slopes of Adummim, on the south side of the valley. From there, the boundary extended to the spring at En Shemesh and on to En Rogel. The boundary then passed through the valley of Ben Hinnom along the southern slopes of the Jebusites, where the city of Jerusalem is located. Then it went west to the top of the mountain above the valley of Hinnom and up to the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From there the boundary extended from the top of the mountain to the spring at the waters of Nephtoah, and from there to the towns of Mount Ephron. Then it turned toward Balau, that is Kirith Jearim. The boundary circled west of Balau to Mount Seir, passed along to the town of Kesalam on the northern slope of Mount Jearim, and went down to Beth Shemesh and on to Timnah. The boundary then proceeded to the slope on the hill north of Ekron, where it turned toward Shikkeron and Mount Balau. It passed Jebneel and ended at the Mediterranean Sea. The western boundary was the shoreline on the Mediterranean Sea. These are the boundaries for the clans of the tribe of Judah. The Lord commanded Joshua to assign some of Judah's territory to Caleb, son of Jephunneh. So Caleb was given the town of Kiriath Araba, that is Hebron, which had been named after Anak's ancestor. Caleb drove out the three groups of Anakites, the descendants of the Sheshai, Ahiman, and Talmai, the sons of Anak. From there he went to fight against the people living in the town of Debir, formerly called Kiriath Sepher. Caleb said, I will give my daughter Aksah in marriage to the one who attacks and captures Kiriath Sepher. Othniel, the son of Caleb's brother Kenaz, was one who conquered it. So Aksah became Othniel's wife. When Aksah married Othniel, she urged him to ask her father for a field. As she got down off her donkey, Caleb asked her, What's the matter? She said, Give me another gift. You have already given me land in the Negev. Now please give me springs of water too. So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. This was the homeland allocated to the clans of the tribe of Judah. The towns of Judah situated along the borders of Edom in the extreme south were Kabzeel, Eder, Jagur, Kinna, Dimona, Adada, Kadesh, Hazar, Ithna, Ziph, Telem, Beloth, Hazar, Hedatha, Keroth, Hezron, that is Hezron, Ammon, Shema, Molda, Hazar, Gada, Heshman, Beth Pelet, Hazar, Shul, Beersheba, Bizothia, Bala, Eam, Ezam, Eltolad, Kelsol, Herma, Ziklah, Madmena, Sansana, Lebath, Silhim, Ain, and Rimmon, 29 towns with their surrounding village. The following towns situated in the western foothills were also given to Judah: Eshtal, Zorah, Eshna, Zanoah, and Gainan, Tapua, Anam, Jarmuth, Adullam, Sakath, Azekah, Sharim, Adithaim, Gedara, and Jederothim. 14 towns with their surrounding villages. Also included were Zenin, Hadeshah, Migdol-gad, Dilean, Mizpah, Jokol, Lakeman, Kithlish, Jederoth, Beth-dagon, Nemeth, and Makdah, 16 towns with their surrounding villages. Besides these there were Libnah, Ether, Ashan, Iphthah, Ashna, Nizib, Kiliah, Akzib, and Marshah, 9 towns with their surrounding villages. The territory of the tribe of Judah also included Ekron and its surrounding settlements and villages. From Ekron, the boundary extended west and included the towns near Ashdod with the surrounding villages. It also included Ashdod with its surrounding settlements and villages, and Gaza with its settlements and villages, as far as the brook of Egypt and along the coast of the Mediterranean Sea. Judah also received the following towns in the hill country: Shamir, Jatir, Soka, Dana, Kerith, Sana, that is Debir, Ana, Eshtimol, Anan, Goshen, Holon, and Gilloth, 11 towns and their surrounding villages. Also included were the towns of Arab, Duma, Eshan, Janith, Beth Tapua, Aphekah, Humta, Harith Araba, that is Hebron, and Zior, 9 towns with their surrounding villages. Besides these, there were Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Judah, Jezreel, Jatim, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 towns with their surrounding villages. In addition, there were Halhul, Bethzur, Gedor, Marath, Beth Anath, and El-Tikan, 6 towns with their surrounding villages. There were also Kerith Baal, that is Kerith Jearim, and Reba, 2 towns and their surrounding villages. In the wilderness, there were the towns of Beth Araba, Medan, Seka, Nebash, the city of Saul, and En-Gedi, 6 towns with their surrounding villages. But the tribes of Judah could not drive out the Jebusites who lived in the city of Jerusalem. So the Jebusites lived there among the people of Judah to this day. Woo-wee. That was a lot of names. That was a lot of tough names, but every one of these names, all of the details count. God is very intricate, very detailed. So we will stumble through it together. That was the end of chapter 15, the end of week 3, day 3, and I need just a moment, so we're going to just break this up and then come back.